Spanning 9 seasons for a total of 201 episodes, it would take a person 4 days, 3 hours, and 30 minutes to watch the entirety of The Office. While most people probably haven't binged that hard, a lot of Office fans have reached double-digit rewatches. Leave your number in the comments. But with so much content in the series, meeting fans who love it through and through, I wanted to make a video highlighting the heartwarming moments that won't make many pop culture blogs' list of the same old stuff from the series. So today, we're talking about
no hits, deep tracks only.
Real quickly too, I wrote this miniseries as a way to talk about some of these moments and their significance. If you're not here for that, I totally understand. I don't own the rights to The Office, I can't just make a montage of moments. There's probably other channels for that. Oh, and this list isn't exhaustive, so if you guys like this video, I can definitely make more of these. There's no shortage of these moments within The Office. With that,
warning, warning, warning!
I'm gonna work through this somewhat chronologically through the series. While season 1 and 2 of The Office are more known for their bleak and cringe, there are highlights of hope sprinkled in here and there. There is one such moment that happens in season 2's Valentine's Day. While Dwight and Angela's secret romance has been brewing all season long, Valentine's Day represents a real step forward in their relationship. And to be honest, Dwight and Angela are the opposite of whatever a hopeless romantic is. Dwight's a very utilitarian farmer, and Angela is, well, Angela.
No, orange is whorish.
But we get to see the human shine through them in this episode. And one such moment that fills me specifically with a lot of joy is watching Dwight unbox his gift from Angela.
It's me. I'm the bobblehead.
That bobblehead was iconic in the series, instantly selling out of NBC's online store, and it had a special place on Dwight's desk through multiple seasons. Literally though, my aim for every gift I ever give to anyone from now on is to bring them this amount of joy.
Yes!
That same sentiment holds true for season 3's initiation episode. While probably nobody's favorite episode in The Office, it does have one of the most iconic bits in the early Office, and that is
Pretzel Day.
While typically the human version of whatever Grumpy Cat is,
Why do you have to drag cats into this?
Stanley is in rare form, and it only happens on this one day.
I go to work to a job for which I get paid too little, but on Pretzel Day, well, I like Pretzel Day.
To me, the most heartwarming moment in this episode was removed from the Netflix cut. And it happens as Michael and Stanley are sharing a moment outside with their pretzel. Where there was, at best, indifference and at worst, complete animosity, these two men break bread and enjoy each other's company.
They taste so good in my mouth.
That's what she said.
From enjoying the perks of the Office Park to facing the branch closing later in season 3, our next heartwarming moment happens after Michael learns that the Scranton branch has been targeted to be downsized.
It's over. We are screwed.
Michael and Dwight decide to take the bull by the horns and ambush David Wallace in front of his house. Due to no effort on their part, Jan has decided to keep Scranton open and shut down Stamford, causing joy to erupt everywhere. Upon learning of that outcome, though, Michael and Dwight share jubilee in their moment of victory.
We did it! We did it! No! We did it! We did it!
While played for laughs, as clearly they didn't do anything to actually affect the outcome here, this moment really does show how deeply Michael and Dwight love their jobs, the Scranton office, and what they're doing. The joke is played extremely well, and it is a highlight of the early Office for me. After the Stamford branch, including Jim, who's now dating Karen, are merged with Scranton, Pam goes out of her way to help her crush's new relationship.
You want to talk about it?
Which just crushes Pam. There's a lot of baggage in this moment. Pam spurned Jim's advances late in season 2. She was engaged. She broke that engagement off, though, soon thereafter, but Jim had already pieced out for Stamford, looking to avoid the embarrassment of having to repair that friendship with Pam. When forced to come back to Scranton, though, Jim opts to start dating Karen, again, presumably to avoid having to deal with the fallout with Pam. Pam, on the other hand, is very eager to hop back on the Jim train once he's back in town. But now Jim's with someone else, and she finds herself in that same role Jim was one season prior, in a play on the cyclical nature of things. So Pam helping Jim and Karen's relationship in this episode is such a big deal, and it carries a really heavy toll. Enter Dwight Schrute. And we know how Dwight feels about Pam.
She's frankly wonderful, but I hate her.
But since Dwight's concussion, the two have actually become something resembling friends, and at this moment, it's just incredible. I can't show the whole thing at once because YouTube, but I'm going to start with Dwight looking to beat up whoever it was that caused Pam to feel this way.
Who did this to you? Where is he?
Once he realizes this is a softer issue, he softens his approach. And again, it's an amazing sequence, executed with eloquence and humor.
So you're PMSing pretty bad, huh?
And continuing the cyclical nature of things theme, we have a nearly identical moment in season 4. After Dwight, Mercy killed Sprinkles, Angela's favorite cat, she's done with their relationship, finding it hard to focus and overall just struggling with life itself. Jim decides to open up to his sworn enemy.
It was awful. And it is something that I wouldn't wish on my worst enemy.
In a first for The Office, this moment resolves without a joke or a bit at all. It's actually a little heartbreaking. But this moment makes the list as it is a rare occurrence of Jim and Dwight's vulnerability just peeking through. And speaking of vulnerability, our next moment spotlights a side character in The Office. Kevin, who's normally used for 2 reasons.
I can't decide between a fat joke and a dumb joke, boom, roasted.
Well, when the writers decide to give Brian Baumgartner some time to shine in the chair model episode, his performance left so many people sobbing uncontrollably. Throughout this episode, Michael mourns the loss of his chair model love. Meanwhile, Kevin and Andy are working really hard to get the office staff their dedicated parking spots back, even calling a meeting of the managers. The duo annoy their way into a victory. While Andy gloats about winning one for Joe's six-pack, Kevin's talking head goes a completely different direction.
After Stacy left, things did not go well for a while. And it was hard to see.
We don't know much about Kevin's personal life.
Sometimes I run. I'm a runner.
Or really, what his perception of reality is at all. But moments like this reinforce this motif through the series, that these characters are living lives off screen, and they bring that baggage into the office every day. In a series which became increasingly unbelievable throughout its run, this is a very real moment.
It's just nice to win one.
Moving on with our deep tracks only is a quick one that I love so much I had to include it on this list, and it happens in season 5. As Dwight and Andy are pursuing the new receptionist throughout the episode, it culminates with the duo one-upping each other to impress Aaron. But unexpectedly awesome, Dwight and Andy begin to bro out over their musical synergy, and it just makes an amazing sequence.
That John Denver's full of shit, man.
That I can't show you any actual clip of because YouTube will strike this down with the force of 1,000 suns. Moving on. I'm not really sure that's a deep track anyway, so let's fast forward to season 7. As Michael is trying to get Holly to follow through with her ultimatum, he's holding everyone in the office accountable to their New Year's resolutions. While most of this episode plays out with cringe bits like this, it resolves with Michael genuinely helping Creed with his goal for the year.
There's one stunning, gorgeous cartwheel,
leading to a brief sequence that, while played for laughs again, genuinely is smile-inducing.
Go.
I did it!
You did?
the perfect cartwheel.
Since most of this list has been joyous sequences, let's take a look at the last ever Christmas episode.
Judgment is nigh, for der Bellschnickel ist I.
Jim, having pranked everyone into a Dwight Christmas, is actually leaving early that day.
I don't mean to brag, but New Year's Eve, I was home by 9.
Jim leaves as planned, and the mood of the entire office suffers just a little bit.
Party's over. You quit on Christmas, Christmas quits on you.
But nothing, well, maybe nothing, in this entire season is on par with Dwight's joy over Jim returning back to the office.
The pig rib. We could totally break the pig rib. I'm gonna dig it out of the trash.
And while it seems that the writers were a little divided on how to handle the Jim and Dwight relationship throughout the series, it was clear by this point that they were definitely friends. And the only moment that might compete with that in season 9 is the culmination of all of Dwight's hopes and dreams. And let's end with something that may actually not be a deep track, but it is a good example of why this series is so good, and a touching moment from the finale. Now, it's safe to say Andy's arc definitely had some ups and downs over the years, but it all culminates into a line which he says so poetically that it's like he doesn't even realize how insightful it just was.
I wish there was a way to know you're in the good old days before you've actually left them.
And Andy's hitting on something that I hope this video is reinforcing. Life does seem to be comprised with a lot of moments ranging from the monumental to the mundane. And sometimes we're so busy looking for our casino night, our Niagara, or our Goodbye Michaels that we miss the deep tracks only. But with that, I thank you so much for watching. This is the end of this mini-series, unless there's overwhelming demand to bring this back in the future. For now, there's plenty to enjoy on the channel. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.